Hey guys, how you doing? Coach Mitch here. So people often ask me, why is a CBP interview so challenging? Well, the first thing, let's get right into it. Most of us, if not all of us, we are conditioned to go through the civilian type interview, right? We're not conditioned to go through this paramilitary federal level interview that CBPO presents to you, right? We usually hear things like where you want to be in 5 years, what's your strength, what's your weakness, and things of that nature. Even the environment is very friendly, it's soft, it's inviting, right? There isn't this sense of, dread almost when the Zoom opens up or you're there in person with these federal officers. It's not that way because a civilian interview is almost meant to be comforting to the person who's being interviewed. It's a very nice environment to be in. So the problem is that the first problem is here is that we're bringing this paradigm, right? This mentality from the civilian type interview, and we're bringing it into the CBPO interview without understanding the CBPO interview is a federal level paramilitary organization. Therefore, they are expecting us to have questions that have answers that show how we are using judgment, decision making, emotional maturity, things of that nature. We're supposed to be showing them how we would do our job in that role. Now, a lot of you tell me over the years, it's not fair. It may not be fair, as you say, but this is how life is, and so we can't answer their questions with these generic type answers. It can't be topical. It must be deep, well-researched answers into how to get by this interview because it's 15 to 20 minutes of pain for you if you don't prepare, right? Number two, of course, is you don't understand how you're being scored or what is being scored, right? In the civilian interview, it's points, right? 4 points, 5 points, that's great. Not so CBPO. They're looking for different things. They're looking at things like, how do you think, right? How are you thinking about the situation we've given you to solve? And we want to see the process. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of my coaching answers have 5 points at least to answer a question with. They also look at how do you make decisions. Not so in the civilian world as much, right? In the CBPO interview, they're asking you really, how are you making these decisions? And they are going to keep asking you until you tell them, although stop asking and figure you can't figure it out and just give you a big F because you didn't make it. They also want to know, how do you explain your actions? And you have to explain your actions in a way that's very clear to them. It must be crystal clear. You don't want them to keep asking you, well, how'd you do this and how'd you do that? Your answers should explain that comprehensively to them so there are no further questions from them to you. This is part of the coaching program also. I teach you how to answer these questions with precision. Now you guys stop here a second. You're probably thinking, well, this means I gotta be military or LAO. No, you don't. You do not. 82% of CBPO are civilians, okay? So that tells you they're pulling from somewhere, not all the military, not all LEO, right? The civilians that get through the process understand what's coming at them. This is why they make it past the interview process, okay? If you two want that chance, description down below, get into my coaching program, I'll show you how it's done. Number 3 is a huge one. It's a big one, and I say it often because I hear it often. Rambling. You are rambling instead of giving structured answers. See, they're asking you a question that really depends on your ability to answer the question in a structured way. How do I know you're rambling? Because for one, I've been doing this for like a long time. For number 2, it's my coaching program. I'll show you how to stop rambling. But what are some ways I find out very fast you're talking too much? If you're going on, like, wow. Number 2, you're jumping around. You're going from one subject matter to another subject matter it's all the same 2 minutes. I'm thinking, well, how can I track this person, right? Now, for my coaching program, that's fine. I'm there to teach you how not to do that in my coaching program because when you go in front of this panel, they do not want to deal with you and you're jumping around. It's not going to make it. Number 3 is a huge one. They lose the main point. It happens a lot in my coaching too, and I understand. You guys already know my coaching program. What happens the first 5 minutes of my coaching? You're being interviewed, right? All you guys know is already, you know how it works, right? And so I'm looking at what your strength is and your weakness is so I can show you how to answer the question. I don't mean strength or weakness for a civilian type question because I don't ask that because they don't ask that. I'm talking about, I'm looking for your strength or your weakness in how you answer the question. And that's a big deal. Number four is a huge one, especially with today's society, is that they don't take responsibility for their behavior, right? You see it all the time out there in the world. Even your politicians or people who you think are really, really great leaders, whatever, they don't take responsibility for their actions, right? People say also too, they tend to use this teamwork framework for every answer, right? And that's not what they're looking for. If you answer every question with "we did this," "my team did this," "my team handled it," well, that's great, but we want to know, what are you doing, right? I want to know, what are you doing in this scenario that I give you? They want to know the same. So don't put the onus on your team to know what you're doing. We are putting the onus on you to ask you what you are doing. Understand? That's a big one. If you can't identify what you did, you will not get credit for that answer. This is how that works, guys. You understand that. Last one is heavy. People, and I see it all the time in my coaching program. It's fine, I see it, but I want to tell you about it. You guys are bringing into these interviews your feelings and being nice and avoiding conflict. And those things are okay for the first time you warn somebody as an officer. But after that, though, being nice, feelings, avoiding conflict goes out the window. Your job is to stand in the gap for the country to stop DRUGS, human trafficking, whatever it is. You can't be Mr. and Mrs. Nice Guy all the time for stuff like that. Sometimes you gotta put your foot down. So what am I looking for in my program, or what are they looking for? Controlled authority, for sure. Decision making under pressure, heavy. Accountability. Definitely want to see accountability, right? Being polite is fine, but you still need to show judgment and also need to show control of the situation. You could be polite, that's beautiful. But after that, though, if there's no compliance, you got to start putting the foot down and get things done because you were the badge. Civilians do not fail the CBP interview because they are unqualified. You guys are failing because you don't know what you're walking into, and so you don't understand what's happening in this interview, and you find yourself lost. From that first question on, you have no clue. I've heard this story time and time again for past 7.5 years. Coach Bitch, I'm here to see you now because I didn't make it the first time because I had no idea what I was walking into and I feel silly. Well, don't feel silly. That's fine, right? Feel good now that somebody can help you out to coach you through the process, right? Because now I'm here to help you out. Do not ever mistake the CBPO interview or CBP interview as a civilian type interview. Like you're going to get 2 or 3 smiling faces at you. Like people in the interview are going to egg you on to get the right answer. Like they're going to ask you, how's your drive, how's your coffee, blah, blah. None of that is going to happen. You're going to deal with robotic faces, no feeling, no love, no care. If you start crashing in the interview, it's going to be on you. They're not going to help you uncrash yourself. You're going to crash yourself, and that's going to be it. If you guys want help in this process, I'm here always. Down below my links, of course. Click a coaching program you want. Get it to my calendar, and let's do this thing, okay? You guys take care and have a good night. Bye-bye.